The guy said, I just want you to know I was one of those guys that sent you those letters that I didn't want your ass here. We didn't want you at our school. We didn't want you here. He said, but I call you here today to shake your hands. And I want to hug you. And I want to tell you, I really appreciate what you've done for my university.
Wow.
LSU is my school. LSU is my school. And I really want to tell you, I appreciate what you did the 4 years you've been here, the doors you have opened, and the other athletes you have opened this door for. I appreciate you.
Wow, that's crazy.
Wow.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Wow.
Hey,
Thank God you had that shotgun, coach.
I know,
Thank God
man.
you had that shotgun.
No
Hey,
question.
coach. So let me ask you something. You had a chance to coach Bo Jackson, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, so look, take us back, man, to that infamous game against Brian Bosworth in Seattle, man. Dad,
Okay.
remember that game? Take us what you was thinking, man. They had the Boz versus Bo Jackson, man. Tell us what that was like, man. I watched that on Monday night game. I remember that like it's still fresh in my head, man.
Yeah, but I could have told everybody. Before the game. You know, the hype wasn't real. You know, I could have told you Bo Jackson. Bo Jackson against most people, but for Bo to be going, everybody, oh, Bo Jackson and Boz. Listen, man, let me tell you something. That would have been like y'all promoting Muhammad Ali versus Terror Biscuit. It wasn't no chance, man. It wasn't no chance. Well, I tell everybody I know, and I love him to death. I said, Bo Jackson, if you remember that movie Men in Black, when Will Smith and that guy walked in there behind the pawn shop, and the little guy was lying to him, they shot his head off, and his head went down the body, and he said,
Yeah.
that was Bo Jackson. Bo Jackson wasn't from America. He wasn't from here. I don't know where he was from, but he wasn't from here. You know what I mean? But Bo Jackson did an interview, a national interview with a young lady on TV about 2 months ago, and he told that lady about that run, and I laughed because it was so real. I was the offensive coordinator for that game. I was calling plays, and we had a play that we pitched a sweep. It was tossed left, so we pitched it over there, and we had a play we called 17 Bob Trail. And I had called that play earlier, and I called that sweep to go around that end. And I told him going into the game, I said, hey, man, we get around that corner. If we just give Bo that tip with about 2 yards from the sideline, I said he'll score on that play. And he pitched it out there, and he didn't like it. Whenever he saw something made him nervous, he turned around and reversed his field. So we pitched it out there. He turned around, came back, went upside, gained about 6 yards. And I'm sitting on the sideline, and I said, God damn, what happened to that? I thought we had that edge. And it puzzled me. I'm just, God damn it, I thought we had that. I thought it was there. So everybody's excited. We went down and scored some other touchdown. Everybody's excited. Bo came to the sideline. I said, Bo, now listen to me, man. I said, I think that pitch was there, just the way I told you. I said, I'm going to call it again now. When I call it again, don't cut it back. I said, stay on that side. Don't cut it back. Okay, Terry, I got you. I got you. A couple plays later, I called it, and he took off. And when he took off down the sideline, all I could do is get little tears in my eyes because it was like, that's the baby I created. That's the one I told you. And he took off and he ran up the tunnel. It just did my heart so much joy, you know.
Man, you call that play? That's crazy.
I called the play. Now listen to me. I called that play. He ran up the tunnel, came to the sideline, give me a big hug and a kiss. And I told him, I said, hey, it ain't over yet. I got another surprise for you. All right. We go on, we play. About whatever it is, about 10, 12 plays later, we get on there. I think we're in the third or fourth quarter, and we get on about the 5-yard line.
I remember this play.
Going into the game, I told them guys, I said, hey, man, we're going to double up on that end. I said, the guys that tray blocking, that's staying down on that end, you guys stay down. I don't need you to bump and go. Usually we're going to bump and go up on that middle linebacker. I said, leave that one in the middle for Bo. I said, Bo can handle him. I said, now listen, here's what I told him. I said, listen, you guys do, this is long before Terrell Owens. I said, you guys do like we do with the movie. Go get some popcorn. I said, y'all double on that end and stay down on him. I said, Bo can handle Boz. I said, people came to see the show. We're going to give them the show.
Wow.
I call that thing 17 Bob Trio. And Bo turned that thing around when he hit that 7-hole. Boz was there, and Bo put his shoulder down and ran over Boz, and Boz's career was over. I mean,
It was over
done.
that
It was
night.
over.
Hey, coach,
It was
you
over.
ruined his career.
It was over.
Single-handedly ruined his career.
It was over. You know what I mean? It was over. And I tell everybody, I don't sit there and say, oh, I feel bad for Boz. I'm sorry for Boz. That Boz is a handful of guys that I have seen in the NFL that could have stood up there and handled Bo Jackson if they was left like Boz was. Ray Lewis probably could have. Willie Lanier might have had a chance. Randy Gradishaw might have had a chance. It ain't too many guys. I've seen Bo ran over so many guys, man, it's unbelievable. And Boz wasn't going to be no different. And when you tell him Boz said something that pissed him off, even if he didn't, hey, man, Boz was talking about you, man. He talked about you. Okay, leave him. I got him. Leave him. I got him.
Wow.
It was over. It was over. I'm just telling you.
Trey, you got any more questions? I got some more after you.
Man, that is awesome. That is awesome. Like Boswell's career was over.
Over. It was done.
You say, hey, leave him.
It was over. It was over.
Bo got him. Bo got him.
Bo got him.
Bo
Leave
got him.
Hey, Trey, can you believe that he's the one that called the play that set it up? Like, that's crazy.
Hey,
yeah.
Man, like that.
Yeah,
that is.
I was calling the plays.
You gave us some good clips, man.
Yeah, I was calling plays back then.
So, Coach, like I know you've been interim head coach here and there, but did you ever have like aspirations as of becoming a head coach and staying a head coach in the NFL?
Yeah, every day. Yeah, every day. Every day, Trey. Every day that I woke up, my waking up in the football world during the football season. Every day I woke up with I'm gonna beat the hell out of you. Every morning when I got up from the night before, when I put together plays and I looked at plays and I coached my players, and I got up in the morning with the mindset is, whoever you are this week, we're gonna beat the hell out of you. I'm gonna find a way to beat you. And you know why I'm gonna do that? Because I've got to consistently keep proving that I'm better than my counterparts. I got to constantly keep proving I'm outwork my counterpart. And I'm gonna constantly keep proving that if somebody slip up and give me a head job, I'm gonna win it all. If somebody slip up and say, Terry, we're gonna try you for 2 years. Terry, we're gonna try you for 3 years. Here, come be our head coach. I'm gonna win a Super Bowl. I'm gonna find a way to get it done, and I'm gonna work my butt off every day until that time to get somebody to give me a chance. So every morning, every day, every night that I worked, and people say, why you work so hard? Why you work like you're crazy? I went to Miami. And when I went down to Miami, I coached next to a guy named Mike Malarkey. And Mike Malarkey thought I was a robot.